Hey guys, happy November. I am back with a new plan with me today. I'm so excited to show you my new cover. I hinted at this last month. I had actually already ordered it when I was talking about wanting to change things up. Some people thought that meant I wasn't going to be using a bullet journal anymore. I just meant that I wanted a different kind of cover for my bullet journal. I'm just going to quickly go through the other accessories that I'm using today, and then I'm going to talk more in depth about this before we dive in. So I'm back in my Oh My Bag Amsterdam leather pencil case, and this is what I keep on my bedside table, and it just has my Tombos in it that I use most frequently, and this oops correcting tape, which I use quite a bit. And then when I do my plan with me's, I really only use these tools when I'm doing these once a month, you know, when I'm setting up my monthly pages. So I have a compass here, just something cheap. I probably bought it at Staples or something like that, and a protractor, which I really don't use the protractor part ever. I just use it as a ruler, but I can see how that would come in handy. And then the last month, if you watched last month, which I will link for you guys, somebody had suggested to me to try using the Martha Stewart circle cutter, which I actually have had in my stash for years, to help draw the circles for my mood mandala, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. And this only does, you know, I think it's like something like 12 or 15 of the rings, but it makes it so much easier because I am not good with a protractor. Okay, without further ado, let's take a look at this gorgeous, gorgeous beauty here. So if you watched last month, I mentioned that I loved my Chic Sparrow Traveler's Notebook cover. It was beautiful, and I had used it for several months and had other notebooks in it as well that I had covered with paper. I did a whole video on how I customized it. I'll link that for you guys too if you want to see it. I just ended up never using those other notebooks, and it was just bulkier than I needed. But I still liked having a leather cover on my planner. So I went on Etsy, of course, which is my favorite place to look for stuff like this, and I wanted to find a standalone leather cover that, you know, necessarily put other notebooks. It's not like a traveler's notebook cover. I wanted to find something that was specifically made for an A5 notebook, and in my case I used the Leuchtturm 1917 notebook. And I found this shop called One Star Leather. Of course, I'll link him below. He's great. We actually have, you know, communicated quite a bit since my order, and he's just been really great to work with. I mean, he's just been really personable and easy to communicate with as an Etsy seller. It's just, I've had a very pleasant experience shopping with him. And I just fell in love with this cover. And now this is the Build Your Own notebook cover for the Leuchtturm 1917. And I ordered it in the Wicket and Craig harness leather in chestnut. And I paid, I think it was $8 or $9 to have it personalized. Let's see if it will pick that up. There it is. Look at that. It's got my initials right on it. And what I love about it, it's very subtle. But when you put the band on the front, you can still see, sorry, there we go. You can still see the initials kind of peeking out there. So there were several features of this cover that drew me to it, because there's a lot of different covers you can find on Etsy. First of all, I definitely wanted something leather. That was important to me. Second of all, I wanted something very thin that would not, you know, be too bulky, because that was kind of my issue with the Traveler's Notebook, and I knew that going in. There's nothing wrong with the Chic Sparrow notebook. I still think it's beautiful, but it just was more than I needed, really. I wanted something with some pockets in it, but with also the ability to just slide the notebook into one side. So what I love about this is it has a place in the back for this is the actual notebook, the Leuchtturm elastic band that comes built in on the notebook. There's a place in the back where it kind of pops through, so you can use it to keep the case closed. And during the day when I have this out, usually I have it open actually to the current page that I'm using, but I just keep the band tucked on the back, and it acts as a pen holder, because I did want a pen holder. I didn't want something too bulky on the side, though I really wanted to keep this as like minimal as possible, but this works out fine. This is my Tombow Mono Drawing Pen number 3. It's my favorite pen as of late. But look at that, it keeps it clipped in. I just have this clipped in right onto there, and then even when I close the book, if I'm going to be like carrying it around the house, I don't want it flying open, it keeps the pen in. So I really like that. I like that it has, I have not filled this out or anything yet. I might end up putting some things in, I mean, hopefully, but it's got a nice big slip pocket for papers, slip pocket, and some like more businessy card size ones. And then the back has the slide pocket for the back of the journal, but you could also tuck things in there. And like I said, the cutout for the elastic band. And what I love is that I can keep my notebook only slipped in the back. Now it's designed so you could fit the front cover in here too, right? And it'd be fully encased in the cover. But what I like is having a very flat surface, since I write on both sides of the page. And I was just thinking that having pockets on the side make it bumpy, even when you get further down into the notebook. So it's very secure in here. The notebook is very secure in this cover, but I don't have to have the hardbound front cover of the notebook slipped in there for it to stay in. So anything I put in here is not really going to affect my writing surface because I have this as a barrier. Do you see what I mean? It's always going to write flat because of the hard cover notebook being outside of those pockets. So that was kind of an important feature to me. And also I wanted something really beautiful and handmade, and I wanted to support small business, and I found all of those things with this cover. So that's the rundown of the cover. I'm so loving it. It is clearly showing some wear, some little nicks and things, especially from where I grabbed the band. I don't mind this kind of wear on leather. I actually prefer it when my leather items start to get a bit worn, because to me it's just part of the beauty of the product and shows love, and you know, if it's getting worn, it means it's being used and loved. But it's just gorgeous. The stitching is beautiful. The binding is gorgeous. I don't know what to call it. However he seals the pockets on, it's just beautiful and very like high craftsmanship. I also went ahead and purchased his leather balm that he sells to keep it in tip-top shape, and you can use this on other leathers as well. And I conditioned it as soon as I got it, and it's just so easy. I just use a little microfiber cloth, and I just take a little bit and buff it in really nicely, just a very, very thin layer of it, and it made it maybe just a touch darker toned than it was when I got it, the leather, but it just conditioned it beautifully, and it's something I'll probably do once every couple of months or so. Anyway, okay, so let's get into my plan with me from October. So, as per usual, or for November, as per usual, I'm going to show you what I did for, I'm going to go through my monthly page, you know, basically my whole month of October. I'm just going to flip through real fast. And then I will speed through the footage of me setting up November. So of course I've got my month at a glance. I just really like this. It's basically just a running list with the days of the week and the dates on the side. It's been a busy month, as you can see, but it just, I sync this with my iCal, which is the calendar I use on my phone to just keep you know, events and appointments and things of that nature with me at all times, because I don't carry this with me everywhere. So it's nice to be able to do that. In the beginning of the month, I sync up, and then at the end of the week, when something gets added, I will go in and add it in. And then I've been doing this monthly goals spread, home, family, content, personal, and these are just things I have on my mind at the beginning of the month, and then it's something that I reference back to like probably about once a week or so to just see how I'm keeping up with things. And I don't get to everything, but it's just something I do. I put washi tape on the side of the first kind of monthly spread here, and I have for the past several months, because that's just an easy reference, you know, way for me to flip to previous months. For the current month, I keep one of the included ribbon bookmarks that comes standard in the Leuchtturm. There's 2 of them. I keep it placed in there for easy, you know, flipping. But when I'm backtracking to other months, which I do actually, for, you know, whatever reason, it's nice to have that washi tape to be able to flip back. Then I have my October tracker. Again, this is just something that helps my brain. I don't think it's for everybody, but it works well for me. I'm going to be omitting at least one of the things because I'm just not doing it, and it's not that important to me right now, but I find it interesting, and it does help me keep on track with certain things that I want to keep on track with. I participate in the One Little Word workshop run by Ali Edwards, which is a kind of a year-long self-reflective memory keeping project that I am such a fan of, and I will be talking more in depth about probably later in December. If for those of you who are interested in maybe participating next year, I will be participating again. It's a class that you can purchase to follow along with the journey. But I just keep a page in my kind of set monthly pages because it helps me keep on top of completing that early in the month. Then I have my mood mandala, which is definitely something inspired from Boho Berry. A lot of my Bujo bullet journal is inspired from her. I will link her below, as I always do in my Plan With Me's, because she's kind of like hooked me into this project. This kind of planning, I would say. And again, I generally show you how I filled in the actual like mandala part from the previous month, but again, I like to actually waiting to fill it in, because I feel like the design, I love doing the design. It's like just a fun kind of creative activity for me. It takes me about, I don't know, 30-45 minutes or so. It's just something that I do once a month for the previous month. It's kind of just a fun thing. It's totally not necessary for like mood tracking or whatever, but I really like looking at the difference between one month and the next, and I feel like I can see it a lot clearer when they're both blank, you know, when they don't have the design on it yet. So I will, if I have a chance to fill this in, to do the design before this video goes live, I'll pop in a picture of it. Otherwise, I'll show you guys next month what it looks like. But I just think it's so fascinating to see the difference in moods between the months, because they're different. So anyway, there's that. And I always include a quote that I don't necessarily put right when I'm planning my pages, but it's something that speaks to me as the month goes on. This is a quote from a book that I was reading from Brene Brown last month, and it says, "Only when we are brave and..." Do you hear Winnie drinking? I'm sorry. She's drinking her water, but I have very little time to film, so I have to talk over her. "Only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light." I really like that. It spoke to me. And then I jump right into my daily pages. I do daily lists, and this is very kind of standard bullet journal style, where you have bullet points for tasks, open circles for events. I use dashes for like sub tasks, and then you can either cross them off or migrate them with a little forward arrow if you need to move them to a different day. I also like doing the time tracker bar. That is definitely something I picked up from Boho Berry. And this is what I do at the beginning of my daily planning session. So every night before I go to bed, I actually pull my bullet journal into bed with me, and I plan out for the next day. And I will write this down first. I just do, 1 through 12 for AM and PM, so it takes up 2 rows, and then I will just kind of quickly with my Tombows just kind of paint out, if you will, what I think my time looks like for the next day. And that just helps me when I go in with my list, my like to-do list for the day, kind of envision my time. I write the day of the week and the date, and then I also fill in the weather forecast for the next day. And then in between my daily to-do lists, I have note pages that I just pop in when I need them, which is one of the things I love about bullet journals. So flexible. So you can see I made one for my Sephora sale shopping list. That sale is, I think, started today if you're a VIB Rouge member. I just like to kind of go through what I have on hand and look at what I need, because it's a really good saving, especially for very expensive skincare and some of my staple beauty products. So I made a list for that. I also make notes for videos that I'm doing, content that I'm working on. So I have one for a pregnancy update I did. over the past month. I get to workbook, planner review. This page was left blank. I will go in and fill it in. Actually, I know what I'm going to fill in with that. Then I did play with going back and doing some weekly spreads. This is very reminiscent of what I did when we were in Utah for the month of August, and I just didn't have as big of a schedule. So instead of doing daily pages, I did a weekly spread. And I wanted to see if that would be useful to do in addition to my daily pages, because I had a lot going on this month, but as it turns out, it was just time consuming and not something really necessary. And you'll see as we go through the month, I experimented with kind of breaking that down smaller and smaller into something a little less formal. And what I ended up landing on is basically what I did before, which is a very informal kind of on Sunday when I'm thinking about the week ahead. I just do a next week kind of a list style for content, home, and personal, just to kind of get myself focused for the week ahead. And that's basically what I landed on. And that is what my spreads look like. Here's the one for my October favorites I did. And yeah, another next week. I didn't even write next week, but that's what that is. And then here it is. Today is, oh, I put the date in wrong. So it's 10/31. Today is Halloween, actually. This is when I'm doing this. I typically do my monthly spread or work on my monthly pages on the day before the next month. So what I will do is skip a page and I will put something there. I fill up all my pages. I'm kind of like a little bit, I don't know, I like to fill up every page, but I go back and put notes there. And what I love about the bullet journal also is the emphasis on having an index, and I keep up with my index. You can see that one blank page from earlier, I left blanks to write in something, and again, I'll do that again. But I do consult the index from time to time. I find it handy, and I love the Loixtra notebooks because they're already numbered. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and do my planning pages for the month, and I'll speed through this stuff, and then I will flip through it with you at the end. Okay, friends, if you're wondering, that took me about, well, wait, I can tell you exactly. It took me 23 minutes to do. I did kind of rush through it, and I didn't quite finish filling in the rings for my Mandala, only because I'm running out of time to film, and I really want to finish this video all in one fell swoop. But I'm just going to show you, I go in and I fill this all in after I film, just for the sake of time, and it's also, just stuff that I want to keep private till after it's happened, for the most part, just for personal reasons. But these are the basic foundation pages of my month that I do every month that have been great for me. This has been what I've been sticking to for the past few months, and it's worked great. So I've got my November month at a glance, kind of the list style format with my monthly goal boxes and my little boo-boo, but that's what whiteout is for. I use this really pretty washi tape that actually came in a Studio Calico Documenter kit. I do Project Life in that subscription I've been using this year for my Project Life album, which is memory keeping, but I really thought it was really pretty for November, and I haven't been, like, kept any sort of like theme with my washi tape this month. Notice there's a little crease right there. I'm gonna try to, there we go, smooth that out a bit. I just thought it was very November-y. I accidentally moved my tracker up a line. It's supposed to be down 6 dots, and I only did it down 5. And I also omitted something from it, so it's a little bit squished over here. Next month I'll just try to have to remember to put it down a little bit further. But I did my usual things that I track. People have asked for that list. Wake by 6 a.m., a.m. Kegels, something that I do a.m. and p.m. for physical therapy reasons, but it's also really great when you're pregnant to keep up with that. It's something I do when I'm not pregnant as well. Workout. I've actually got some workouts in at the end of this month, which is really exciting because I hadn't worked out for a long time. Walk, apple cider vinegar, work email, social, video, blog post, hydrate, supplements, read, PM Kegels, stretch, plan, CC's journal, daily journal. Those are things I do every day, just to kind of help remember things. Memory keeping, and lights out by 10. I don't do all those things every day. I don't expect to do all of them every day, but those are the things I like to track. My one little word November prompt, which I will fill in as soon as I have time to take that class. Then I have my mood mandala. I showed you in the video how I use the Martha Stewart circle cutter. Instead of using the cutter piece in it, I just stick a pencil in it. And I just basically skip 6 little circles between to get this size ring. So I'll have to go in and fill in. I think I can fit 1 ring in the middle there, and then I have to fill in the other, however many it is. I think I can get, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 13, so there's 14 days. I was able to get half the month basically. So I have to fill in the other 16 days, which I will do with the compass, but I didn't have time to do during this video. Went ahead and filled in the moods that I track. I've just tried to keep that consistent with this journal. So it's, you know, consistent when I'm looking back. You see the rings will go out all the way to the end of the page, and I'll fill in a quote when something comes to me. And then this is where I will start my daily pages. Now I will go back to my index and I will note where my November monthly pages started. So I'll write down, what is this, 148 through 149, November, month at a glance and goals, etc. Just so it's easy for reference. And that is what I do. And that was my November plan with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions or things you'd like to see in future plan with me's, let me know. I know I keep these videos pretty consistent, but I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing, and that what's working for me, and it's just really working for me lately. And I love going back and looking at my mood mandala and just how things have kind of progressed. I don't know, it's all good, it's all fun. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down for, that will be November 1st, and I usually put the stripey, it comes with 1 striped bookmark. The Lordstrom's come with 1 striped bookmark and 1 solid cover. I'll put the stripey one in my monthly pages, and I'll be all set to go to plan for tomorrow, November 1st, but this video is going up on the 3rd, so that's a little bit backwards in time. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys real soon. Happy planning, you guys. Take care. Bye.